Welcome to the Introvert's Passion Projects, where quiet souls chase dreams in the night, revving engines and car culture's thrill. Italian greyhounds dash with graceful skill. Scally hats tip low, cigar smoke curls slow. Photography captures the moments we know. Join the ride, light up, snap the view. Passions ignite, just me and you. Oh, the passions burn in the introvert's fire. From roaring wheels to the hound swift desire. Hats on our heads, cigars in the air. Snapping the world without a care. Slavic winds call, let the rhythms play. In quiet hearts we find our way. Beneath the moon, engines hum their tune. Greyhounds leap like legends from the rune. Scally crowns in the misty eve's glow. Cigar whispers in the embers flow. Lens to the soul, capturing the wild. Introvert's world untamed and styled. Ride the waves of passion's ancient call. In solitude, we conquer all. Oh, the passions burn in the introvert's fire. From roaring wheels to the hound swift desire. Hats on our heads, cigars in the air. Snapping the world without a care. Slavic winds call, let the rhythms play. In quiet hearts we find our way. Introvert's fire, from roaring wheels to the hound swift desire. Hats on our heads, cigars in the air, snapping the world without a care. Slavic winds call, let the rhythms play. In quiet hearts we find our way. In quiet hearts we find our way.
All right, greetings, everybody. This is Eugene, the Introvert's Passion Projects, Passion Pulse Media. It is the evening before Thanksgiving. I don't have anything to get ready. I mean, it's just me and Mrs. Introvert, and we're making a duck. We don't do turkey. Turkey's not. I like turkey. It was other families' favorite, so they're no longer with us. So it's just the two of us. So we're being different, and we're making duck. Made it last year. It was fantastic. So we're going to try it again. It is actually sitting in the refrigerator in a brine that I started this morning. So by the time it's ready to go into the oven tomorrow, it should be good and ready. And when it comes out, I expect it to be juicy and delicious. Now, if you've never had duck, try it sometime. It may not be for you. Some people say that it is too fatty, but fat is where the flavor's at. Am I wrong? So anyway, a week in recap here. So last we met, it was about a week or so ago. I'd just gotten back from vacation, and then we had a couple car meets that happened in between. So let's start with last Thursday. Last Thursday was the JDM Legends meetup. And as always, what a great turnout. Seeing a lot of the same crews, a lot of car clubs that meet together. That's great to see. And there had to have been at least a couple hundred cars there once again. I'm told that it was a little bit lighter than it usually is. I've only been going out a few times. So, to me, it looked like a good crowd. What I came away with was some great pictures and some good video clips that I've already posted up to Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So if you are following, you can see all that content that I'm putting out over there. So again, thank you to the JDM Legends, Jeff Lau. He's one of the coordinators of that. So big shout out to him for being a great organizer with that. And if I missed anybody, it's just because I'm getting to know everybody. And I will promise you, as this channel starts to grow, this podcast starts to grow, I will not miss you. I will not miss out on an opportunity to give you a shout out and even have you on sometime. That is the goal, is to start bringing on people, everyday people in our community and also in the passions that I follow, is to have you on because I want to hear your stories. I'll tell you my stories, but I certainly want to hear your stories. So Thursday again was a banger. I did stop in to Kanji Sushi, of course, and took advantage of their Thursday happy hour. And delicious as always. And thank you to the gracious hosts of Kanji Sushi. So if you are in Brandon, I highly recommend that you eat there. Hands down, you can eat sushi just about anywhere in Tampa, probably dozens and dozens of places. I've been there. In my opinion, it's my favorite. That's my go-to for that. So give them a try and please support your local small businesses there. Moving along to the main event, that was Saturday at the Motor Enclave. And again, what a turnout. And I have to start by saying that the people that were working the event, I saw a lot of coordinators, photographers, just the staff. I got the VIP tickets, so I was able to park up real close, got directed exactly where I needed to be. Very well organized. Everybody was kind and courteous. The brunch was excellent, as always. I would maybe recommend, even though I know it's a motor event. I heard some people saying, where are the mimosas? I wouldn't drink a mimosa, but I know some people that would. So maybe think about that for next time. It's a mimosa. What could go wrong? A motor speedway and track and hypercars. That being said, again, great event. Got a lot of pictures, a lot of video for this. Now, my goal out of this one is to take what I got from that event and also compile with other events that I've been to in recent times and do a nice little photo essay, if you will, on the vibrant car culture in Tampa. I keep talking it up in the Instagram and TikTok postings that I'm making and just letting everybody know that, I'm interacting with that. It is vibrant. It's different than other places for now. And I certainly hope that we can keep it that way because there is the ugly side to it. You don't want to be attracting certainly law enforcement into these type of events because then they'll just shut them down. And then, where will all of us be able to go and meet as a group? I love the uh, art of driving. Consider myself a pretty decent driver, even though I'm not tracking. I think at my age, I don't know. I'm on the fence with that. Plus, so I'll wear that insurance hat that I used to wear. Yeah, I'll take my car out on the track and then, something could happen, then what happens with, insurance and stuff afterwards. But anyway, um, I can't live life like that. I keep saying, uh, it's red line till the reaper calls. And so maybe I need to, live that philosophy that I'm, certainly writing about. So that's just something that I need to work out the details on. I know that there are places that you can, you know, take the experience and use their cars. And I end up might doing that only because, that's not something that I really want to put the BRZ through, even though that car is very track capable, even how it stands now. And I'm going to get into a little bit about that car in just a few minutes. But again, just to kind of recap, Motor Enclave, one of my favorites. Keep it coming around. And then other events that you sponsor, I certainly would love to take advantage of being able to come to your facility because, again, it's just a great experience. I hear there's a black tie event coming up where you actually have to wear all red. And if I could score a ticket or two for that, I certainly would like to be there because that would be an awesome event to go to as well. So moving along, a little bit of car news. Again, I'm going to leave the big car reviews to the experts who already have those channels, but it's in all of our interest to keep up with what's going on in the industry because I'm into the Subaru platform times two. I've got the BRZTS 2025, and we just acquired a 2025 Subaru Crosstrek. It's not our first Crosstrek, it's actually our second. And we had another Subaru we had a Subaru Forester at the same time as that we had the old Crosstrek. I like to move in and out of cars. That's just how I am. I love cars. I'm a car enthusiast. I'm certainly not a gearhead. I've told you that. And there's a lot of controversy in some of the forums and some of the postings that I see, that you're not, car guy or car girl enough because you don't do this, this, and this. And let me just say to those gatekeepers out there that think that they're the car guy, their car guru, there is an entry point. Somebody has to come in somewhere at the beginning. We don't all come in, fully knowledged out. Maybe like, you know, the person that or people that I'm talking about feel like that they've done that. We have to cut our teeth too. And, it's a process. So if you meet somebody who's new to the car scene, give them some grace. Be the mentor, ask them about their build or what their plans are, and be a friend. It doesn't cost you anything to be kind. And think about it in these terms. And I remind people all the time when I interact with them on the internet, especially in some of the chats that I've been getting lately. There's a lot of us. There is roughly 8 billion people on the planet. We're all not going to know each other at any point. But if you cross paths with somebody, that 1 in 8 billion chance, take a moment to be kind. I had somebody in on a Facebook posting. We were posting pictures of our cars, and he had to point out that I had a sticker that was crooked. So what? The sticker's crooked. I know. Do you think that I don't know that I put on my own, sticker crooked? I did, and I'm okay with it. Doesn't make the car go any faster or slower. It's a BRZ. It is what it is. So to that person out there, I've since removed the sticker, not because it was crooked, but because I got something else to put in its place. And guess what? I made sure it was straight. You get people that come in all the time, and they're intimidated. I was intimidated. One, because I'm an introvert first and foremost. It's hard for me to, just walk up to people and, start having a conversation in a group of people that I don't know. But let me just say, since I've been in this now for almost, about a year or so, I've gotten a lot better. I'm making a lot of contacts. I'm networking more and meeting a lot of great people. And, I'm curious. I want to know their stories. So I will walk up to somebody and say, tell me about your car. How long have you had it? What builds, what mods have you done? Is it stock? Is it not stock? All the general questions. And those are things that, you know, the seasoned veterans should be doing. But what I do see at a lot of the car meetups, and I'm not knocking this, it's the post ups. You see them. We're tribal. We're a tribal, animal, and what we like to do is we like to, congregate and mingle with our tribe. And what I see is, and I'm not picking on Corvettes because I had one, but you see the Corvette guys. So they'll circle up in a big circle and block part of the street, and they're kind of hanging out amongst themselves. And I've actually gone into those circles and tried to meet and talk to some people. And some people want to talk to you, and others are pretty adamant that they're not interested in sharing anything. So with that, why bother come to a car meet if you're not gonna hang out and talk with like-minded enthusiasts who may want to know about your car. Somebody might be interested in actually acquiring one. I had a Corvette. I liked it. It was actually kind of a dream car for me, but it also gave me a little bit of anxiety driving it around here in Tampa, with just how crappy the roads are. You guys need to fix those roads. We pay enough money in our taxes. What did you do? Bump us a penny and a half for, sales tax. Fix the roads, so that we can, drive our sporties on smooth roads. But, 500 horsepower versus the 228 that I have now in the BRZ, what's the difference if it's sitting in traffic and driving over shitty roads all the time? So just a rant, just a complaint. So just to kind of wrap up what I'm talking about for the car culture, keeping it vibrant, and especially for those people that act like they're the gatekeepers for who's, car savvy enough or not, that's not your job. Your job should be to embrace somebody that's on the new side of things, because you can get into car culture at a fair low buy-in. What would that buy-in be? It doesn't have to be anything, you know, super special. I mean, just off the top of my head, what I would recommend is if you're that 17 or 18-year-old, out there and, you've got limited funds, the Mazda Miata is a great car to get into if you're looking for something that is a driver's car that you can buy for, a few $1,000s for something that's pretty old, may need some work, but that's the whole fun of it, is that you can take something like that and build on that platform, because that platform has so much that you can do with it, so many modifications and things that you can do to fix it up. I took the one that I had that I bought off the lot. It needed some work, and I did mostly the cosmetic stuff. I didn't modify anything that was not stock. I did replace a lot of the stock stuff that had been worn out since 2009, and that car drove amazing. It's a fantastic car. 2000 it was a 2009 power retractable hardtop uh, GT. So if that is an amazing car. Now I have since sold that car because my needs change. To me, cars are kind of like a golf club. Each one has its purpose. I had two sporties. I had the MX-5 and I had the BRZ, but I needed something to carry my dogs around in, like when they go to the dog park or go to the vet, things of that nature. I had a pickup truck. I shouldn't have sold it. Didn't think I needed it because I got rid of the business. And then a few months later, I'm like, oh man, I need something to move the dogs around in, because it just wasn't working. It wasn't working well with them certainly in the MX-5, because the two of them trying to sit in one seat together, they didn't like that. And then the BRZ, they could sit in the back in their own individual seat, but they didn't like the rumble of the exhaust and the noise, because it's just too noisy back there for them. So I made the change and got a super dad car. It was a 2020 Honda Accord Sport. I mean, it is a nice car. I mean, certainly, in the way of sedans and stuff like that, with all the choices that are out there. But I want something pre-owned that I didn't have to spend a whole lot of money on. It had low mileage for a Honda, and I got that running tip top. And let me tell you, what a difference. I put a nice little bed back there, a blanket, dogs lay back there, and they go right to sleep. They chill unless they think they're going to the vet, and then they're getting squirrely. Most of the time it's to a fun place. So, but that's working out just fine. Now, when things start picking up, finances, job and stuff like that starts to kick into gear. Maybe this passion project with my writing, the songs, the podcast, who knows? I want to parlay that into something that I am, earning a living on. In the meantime, I am slated to do some substitute teaching somewhere. Not going to say where yet, because I'm just waiting to lock that in. But that's going to be part of what I'm going to be doing to, manage the bills on a day-to-day basis. So what's coming up? Let's see. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I hope you all have some wonderful plans with wonderful family. Try not to bicker. I know that there's going to be a family out there that's going to have that first semester college student that's going to come home. They're going to think they know everything. Their Marxist professors are going to tell them that it's the patriarchy and down with capitalism, and you're going to have that fight. It is what it is. So, um, for me, it's just me and Mrs. Introvert and the two dogs. We're going to have the duck, some stuffing, maybe some carrots, I don't know, potatoes, but not a whole lot, because again, it's just the two of us. And, me, I'm not a kind of a leftover guy. I like to eat fresh every day, good piece of meat, and, move on to the next. Not a big leftover guy. So, we're not cooking a whole lot because I don't want to see it the next day, to be honest. But then we've got football all day. Who do you think's going to win the games? I haven't even really looked to see the lineup. I know Detroit's going to play. I think they're playing Green Bay. I picked Detroit in that one. But anyway, it should be good football, because it's a perfect day for it. Everybody's together, unless you're playing some outside games or whatever. I know Florida, it's going to be super nice. So if you're watching this from somewhere else, we got a little cold front coming in tonight, and they say it's going to be in the 60s, but it's going to be a sunny 60. I'll be out on my back porch just hanging out. I'm sorry if it's super cold where you're at. You know what? You don't like it? Come on down. There's plenty of room. Just kidding. Don't show up at my doorstep, because, car news. So moving along to some articles that I saw, I kind of alluded earlier that I'm not a reviewer, but I like to mention certain things. Subaru beats BMW and Audi to become the most reliable car for 2025. It's a great car. It's a great platform. Other people may say that it isn't. And that's the thing about cars and being a car enthusiast, is go with what you like. I see the VW crowds. They have some great cars, great rides, great builds. Would I ever buy a VW? Probably not. I don't know. I don't know enough about them. You know, I like more of the Japanese stuff. I would like to be into something that's, maybe imported that you can't get. Speaking of which, way to go Subaru for doing a special edition BRZ that only Japan's going to get, and they're only getting 300 of those anyway. So um, hopefully, some super rich people aren't going to buy them and just lock them and store them. I'd like to see, you know, everyday drivers putting those out on the road and or putting them on the track and doing the twisties what those cars are supposed to be doing. Let me get a sip here real quick. Oh, that's good. I took a big swig. You're probably wondering what's in there. Filtered water, creatine, and some hydration powder, liquid IV. So that's what I drink all day. I stopped drinking alcohol a while back. It's probably been a few years now, mostly for, diabetic health reasons, not for, being an alcoholic or anything, but that runs in the family. So you always got to be, concerned about that, but mostly for the diabetes. Sugar is the devil for me. I mean, I really can't tolerate any of it. If I start getting on it, then I'm like a crackhead. I keep eating it. And then the next thing you know, I'm, 10, 15, 20 pounds up. So that's been a struggle. So I'm trying to, cut back the weight that I gained from, um, funeral stress and all that other stuff from dad passing, which is actually coming up on 2 years now in January. Enough about that. Other news in the car industry. Let me see. I had another thing I wanted to mention here. Just bear with me a moment. Mr. Producer, bring up that article for me. Oh, there is no producer. It's me. So MX5, talked about mine earlier. It says MX5 has time caught up with the MK4. That's the fourth generation of the Miata. Again, I'm not the engineer. I'm not the car guy. It's a fantastic car. I actually owned a 2020 ND, and it was great for me, except when my psoriatic arthritis went into full gear. I knew that I had some sort of autoimmune disease, but then in 2020, it kicked into overdrive, and it was a mess. That car was not designed for me for that. And at the time, it was my everyday driver. So I made the, decision to trade out and ended up going with a Mazda CX-5, something I could climb in and out of easier. Well, then I got that under control and managed. And guess what? I really wanted to get back into the Miata. And I waited until I actually found that I did make a video or may have talked about the different generations, which one's best, who loves what. It really comes down to personal preference. I'm not going to tell you which one I think is the best. The best one for me was the NC because it was the biggest out of all the Miatas and MX5s. And other people will probably say that they hate it. I named mine the deplorable edition. I actually put a stamp on the back that actually said that deplorable edition. Because most enthusiasts that love that platform, they just don't like the NC. But don't pass it over if you're ever in the market for one. If you're asking me, that's the one I would recommend to you. That being said, you know, are they going to make improvements? There's the talk of Subaru and Toyota parting ways on the GR86 platform, which the BRZ and the 86 are basically cousins. And then Toyota going with Mazda on some kind of collaboration there. But are they going to listen to the enthusiasts? That's the key point, is the engineers are going to make cars for engineers. And then, of course, the bean counters, the people at, you know, these car manufacturers are going to, want them to make a car that sells. Well, the car that sells isn't this car. It's not the BRZ. It's not the Miata. Yeah, people buy them, but they buy them because they're toys. So who has the toy money? It's, the older adult that has disposable income, and they're going to buy it kind of as a fun car or a weekender. And that kind of gets me back to that other original point I was making about that low entry for the budding car enthusiast. You're coming out of, high school and college. You don't have a whole lot of money to spend, but you love cars. You want to get into that car culture. You've seen the meets, the cars and coffee and all that other good stuff. Beyond is a good platform. And if you don't get into that, look for some of these aging BRZs and FRSs and some of the older sixes. They may have a ton of miles on them, but those boxer engines are really, really good. They're solid. Um, do your due diligence, do your homework, find something that works for you. It fits your budget. It's heavily modifiable. It's heavily modifiable is what I'm trying to say. You can put all kinds of stuff on it. So let me just segue into mods real quick before we move along. I recently acquired Alpharex headlights. I source a lot of the stuff that I put on my BRZ through Driven Media. That's driven.media. They are not a sponsor, but I find that the things that I've purchased from them have been great quality, almost all of it. There's a couple pieces that I got that I wasn't all that happy with. It's mostly the overlays and some of the carbon fiber trim, but you know, it it is what it is. But everything else, like especially the big ticket stuff, the juiced pipes that I got, fantastic. I love those pipes. And let me tell you, every time I go someplace and somebody hears them, they like the sound of it too. And what else? The seat delete kit that I got. People that are seeing that, they're raving about that because it takes that useless back seat that they have in the BRZ and the GR80, and you totally take it out. You have these two beautiful cross pillars made of lightweight carbon fiber and an automotive grade nylon webbing that spans the gap in the to the trunk, plus a full length cart that goes from the back of the trunk all the way to where the seats were. Once you get that in there, it's clean. You could still put stuff back there too. In fact, when I went to the dealership yesterday to get my lights installed, I had four big boxes, and that car was stuffed. And I'm not going to lie, I had to keep the seat pushed up just a little bit to get everything to fit. But the point is it fit, and I got it there. So, what mods did I do? That I just got from Driven Media. That's where I was going with this. I got the Alpharex headlights, taillights, the trunk light, and the third brake light, and I got it all in a blacked out, smoked out look. And I've posted pictures of that to my Instagram. If you want to go to my Instagram or go to TikTok, I've got some clips on there. That Instagram is Eugene Ryscik, and it's both TikTok and Instagram. And that's Eugene Ryscik, Ryscik. Super easy to find. Go check out those clips. And I have a lot of other clips up there as well. So those modifications are in order for what's coming up in December, the biggest event that I can think of before the end of the year, and that is Subi Fest. Subi Fest is on the 14th, and the Tampa Bay Subi owners we're forming our, I guess, posse to ride up on Saturday. A bunch of us are going to meet up on Saturday and then go up Saturday, spend the night, and then the rest of the group or whoever's going to assemble is going to ride up on Sunday. So big event. I don't even know what to expect. If you're a Subi owner or if you're an enthusiast and you're curious, go to the website, look up Subi Fest, see what it's all about. It's everything Subaru. Everything. And it's in Orlando, so it should be exciting. It's going to be my first one. And of course, when I get back, I'll have a full report. I'll have plenty of camera shots, and I'll of course post that to my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and then maybe do a little video and post that up on YouTube as well. So kind of running out of things to talk about. I think I recapped just about everything. Let's see. This weekend we've got a Gateway Classic Cars here in Ruskin, Florida. That's always a good one. Sometimes it's a big crowd, sometimes it's little. I don't know what to expect after, Thanksgiving, but we'll see. I'm gonna go. It's local, and then let's see. You know what? I missed one that I went to last Sunday. It was the 813 Meets group. They meet at the Bubba's in Wesley Chapel. That's the first time I went to one of their events, and I did post some pictures up on Instagram and Facebook, and I got a couple of responses back from people in the group that participate in that group. So Thank you for your graciousness and good meeting a couple of you while I was out there and linking up with me on those socials. So I know I always will forget somebody because, I'm just meeting people very quickly and I want to try to squeeze everybody in. So everybody have a happy, safe Thanksgiving. Try not to argue. It's really not worth it. If your family, you can't pick your family. I mean, I, I, I certainly know from firsthand experience how terrible family can be sometimes to you. Mentioned it before. I play it in songs all the time in my stories. But anyway, I'm going to play you out a song today. It's one that I recently wrote. And imagine this, and this is for you too. So if you see this video and you want to make a connection with me, what I've been telling friends and people that I know is let me make you your theme song. Now, what is your theme song? Your theme song is what a song would say about you if you were to enter a room. Or imagine this, a stadium of 100,000 people clapping, cheering, chanting your name. Well, what would that song be? How would it sound? What would you want that song to say about you? Because let me tell you, when you are in a song, when that song is about you and you are the main character of the song, that song makes you immortal because once it's written down, it's recorded, you know, you've put that out into the universe. That's forever, man. So what would you want to have the world remember? I'm not saying anything, that you're going anywhere, but how would you want to be remembered or immortalized in a song? So think about that and let me know. Reach out to me and let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and play you out. This is called, and it's the song that plays when I come into the stadium. So let me hear you cheer for me. No. All right. That was Sigma's anthem, Red Line, Living the Dream. So just so you know, these songs, I write all the lyrics to these songs. And then what I do is I take those lyrics, I upload them into suno.com. Suno is a place where people like me who are not musicians can have the system make the music, make the song, with you. It is a collaborative tool. Now there are musicians that actually refine their songs through that system as well. So yes, these are indeed my songs. They belong to me. I write the lyrics, and then I mix the music to the vision and to the sound that I think it should sound like. I've made over 70 songs at this point with the lyrics that I've written, and a couple of them have been commissions for other people that I've actually written songs in collaboration with. And I'm going to play one for you next week. It is called Betty's Fire, Cougar's Heart. And I'm just going to leave it at that. It's for a friend of mine. Her name is Sabrina Z. We've collaborated on a couple things, and that's her anthem. And we'll play that one for you next week. It's a song for her, but it's a song for any woman out there. So I want to go ahead and end it here today. Again, say happy Thanksgiving to you all, and I will see you all in the next one.